The US and the Philippines conducted a 3-day aerial exercise together last week, with fighters from both nations operating over the strategically vital South China Sea. The joint drill ran from November 21 to 23, with 2 US F-15 Eagles flying alongside 2 Philippines Air Force FA-50s, a Pacific Air Forces spokesperson told Air and Space Forces magazine. The FA-50 Pico Henry aircraft was developed by the South Korean company Korea Aerospace Industries (KAI). The Philippine Air Force ordered 12 FA-50PH fighters in 2014, while the Royal Malaysian Air Force and the Philippine Air Force use KAI RM-50 fighters, which have obtained the newest and most advanced variant, namely the FA-50 Block 20. The Philippine Ministry of Defense and KAI signed a contract to procure 18 FA-50 aircraft. Block 20 worth $4 billion at the exhibition on May 5, 2023 at LAN CWI. The aerial exercise was part of a larger maritime and aerial cooperation activity between U.S. Indo-Pacific Command and the Armed Forces of the Philippines, according to a PACAF release. Apart from the F-15 Eagles fighter aircraft, the United States also deployed other aircraft in joint air exercises, including the WHOGS 810 and C-130 Hercules. Greater maritime and air cooperation activities between the Indo-Pacific Command and the Armed Forces of the Philippines. According to a PACAF release, the South China Sea is a hotly contested area by the People's Republic of China, which claims sovereignty over most of the heavily trafficked waterway and has exploited what the People's Republic of China claims is contested territory. The People's Republic of China claims sovereignty over much of the heavily trafficked waters and has used what the US and its allies call coercive and aggressive behavior to reinforce its claims. US forces, meanwhile, continue to operate in the region in accordance with international law, even as the Pentagon has noted in UPTICK an unsafe and unprofessional incidents by Chinese warplanes and ships. US forces routinely operate with allies and partners in defense of the rules-based international order and will continue to do so to maintain peace and stability in the region, the PACAF release noted. The US and the Philippines, which also has claims in the South China Sea, have tightened their alliance in recent months. In March, US Air Force F-22s deployed to the Philippines for the first time ever, and in May, the two countries reintroduced the Cope Thunder aerial exercise after a 33-year hiatus. More recently, on November 6, the two countries marked the completion of the Basra Air Base runway upgrade, a project backed by a $24 million investment from Washington. The upgraded 8,000-foot runway featuring reinforced pavement can now accommodate larger aircraft, such as cargo planes used by the Philippine Air Force. It is expected that runway will also facilitate future U.S. aircraft operations, as part of the country's recently expanded Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA. Basra Air Base, situated about 40 miles northwest of Metro Manila, was constructed by the US in the 1940s, prior to World War II. On November 15, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin and Philippine Secretary of National Defense Gilberto Teodoro Jr. met in Jakarta, emphasizing alliance modernization and the progress of the EDCA, including the newly finished Basra runway. As an extension of the ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting Plus, the two secretaries convened and reaffirmed their commitment to cultivating a transparent and peaceful Indo-Pacific region. Austin also reiterated Washington's commitment to defend the Philippines' sovereignty in its exclusive economic zone, EEZ. Beijing's territorial claims of the South China Sea overlap with the Philippines' EEZ, leading to tensions and disputes over maritime rights and resources. In October, the US expressed support for the Philippines against China's Coast Guard and maritime militia, which obstructed a Philippine resupply mission in the South China Sea. Austin and Teodoro Jr. also pledged to enhance bilateral operations, including the upcoming annual joint exercise dubbed Balakatan, meaning shoulder to shoulder, in 2024. This past April, the two nations hosted the largest ever Balakatan exercise, involving 12,200 US troops and 5,400 AFP personnel. The US Air Force took an important first step March 13 when F-22 Raptors deployed to Clark Air Base, marking the first time US fifth-generation fighters have ever deployed to the Philippines, the USAF announced. This was the first time that F-22s, or any fifth-generation aircraft, have landed on and operated out of the Philippines, Captain Carl Schroeder, a Raptor pilot assigned to the 525th Fighter Squadron, said in an Air Force news release. This milestone with a regional ally aids in providing stability and security to the Indo-Pacific. The F-22 deployment, which took place on March 13 and 14, comes as the US is undertaking a major effort to strengthen and expand its posture in the Pacific to deter China's growing military might.